Okay, so we have 2 questions remaining from Unit 4. We'll try to see that part today. Okay, so rules of construction we have seen. 4 rules we have discussed. Also, there is one more which is called as beneficial rule of construction. Okay, we will see what is beneficial rule of construction. Now, from the name only, these rules give us an indication on what it might be. Okay, like when we say beneficial, as in it is talking about some benefit, right? Benefit, it's talking about some benefit. Now, what sort of benefit is it? We will see it. Okay, what is beneficial rule of construction? So, beneficial rule of construction involves giving the widest meaning possible to the statutes. Okay, now statutes are passed with some intention or for some purpose, right? So what we will do is we will try to give the widest meaning possible to the words or to the provisions which are there in the statute. Okay, so when there are 2 or more possible ways of interpreting a section or a word, might be you can interpret it in this way or you can interpret it in some other way. When there is such a possibility that there are multiple interpretations possible, the meaning which gives relief and protects benefit which are purported to be given by the legislation should be chosen. Okay, so it might happen that there is a possibility that you can understand it in this way or that way. So which one do we apply in such a situation? If there are 2 possibilities, which interpretation do we apply? We need to apply that interpretation which is giving sort of benefit. Okay, that legislation was introduced for some purpose to provide some benefits to a certain section or class of people. So whichever interpretation is providing the benefit that was intended by the legislation, we need to choose that particular interpretation only. Okay, when we talk about benefits, there are a lot of we can say social welfare legislations. Okay, these legislations are introduced for benefit of certain group or section of the society. So there we need to see what is the purpose of this legislation. Why was this legislation even introduced? And in that line, we need to think that whichever interpretation is giving benefit to those targeted group or section of the society, that interpretation we will be applying. So beneficial construction of statute have enormously played an important role in development and beneficial interpretation of socio-economic legislations. So we have a lot of legislations which are talking about providing benefit to the society, okay, or providing economic relief to the people. In such situations, we need to understand provisions of this legislation in that line, whichever is providing for benefit. Okay, so there is this section. Okay, so this is what the one case is, B. Shah versus Presiding Officer, Labor Court. Here what happened is court applied beneficial rule of construction in interpreting section 5 of the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, which relates to right to payment of maternity benefit. Payment of maternity benefits. The court held that employers should pay maternity benefit at the rate of average daily wage and Sundays should also be included. Now what happened here is under Maternity Benefit Act, the employer was responsible to provide maternity benefit to his employee. Okay, so what he did is there is section 5 of Maternity Benefit Act which says every woman shall be entitled to and her employer shall be liable for payment of maternity benefit at the rate of average daily wage. That means how much she is earning each particular day. If that wage varies, it would be average daily wage. Okay, that at that rate, she will be entitled to get the amount. Okay, so what this employer did is he said that in this entire month of 30 days, you don't work on Sundays, right? You work from Monday to Saturday only. So he calculated the amount from Monday to Saturday, how much is calculate like how much amount it is, right? That means he excluded 4 to 5 days. He tried to save that much money, 4 to 5 days each month into 6 months, right? That much amount he wanted to save. So he tried to apply that particular rule that, okay, fine, Sundays you are not anyways working, so Sundays will not be included. Remaining days I will calculate, and whatever is the amount that I will give. Okay, so there was a conflict. Case was filed, and in this case, court applied beneficial rule of construction. That why is first of all Maternity Benefit Act introduced? It is introduced to provide benefits. What sort of benefits? Maternity benefits. So, which interpretation is providing for benefit? There are two ways we can interpret Section 5, right? That average daily wage. Whichever day she is working, how much is the average wage? Like that we can calculate. Or we can calculate as a whole 30 days salary. Which one is providing more benefit to the women? Obviously, when we are including Sundays, that is providing benefits. So court tried to apply beneficial rule, and court said even Sundays will be included when we are calculating this maternity benefit. Okay, is it?
Ma'am, maternity benefit, like what, ma'am? Can simple?
Maternity benefit means that when there is a female employee, right? Female employee
Okay.
gives birth to a kid, then she gets 6 months of paid leave. That's nothing but maternity benefit.
She gets 6 months of paid leave.
Yeah,
She'll be getting salary and
yes, she will
she
be getting
can't. She'll
salary.
be
She
taking
don't
leave.
need to work for 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
and if in fact for government departments, right, there is an additional benefit apart from that 6 months. She also gets 2 years childcare leave, which she can take up to the child becomes 18 years of age. Like there are so many things that parents need to take care of, right? Like kid might fall sick, kids might have exams, parents teacher meetings, so many things. So taking that into consideration, total 2 years childcare leave is given. That if your kid is falling sick, you can take 1 or 2 days. You need to go to parents teacher meeting 1 or 2 days, like that. Total 2 years you can take up to the kid becomes 18 years of age.
In government, ma'am?
Yeah, in government services. And it's not like if you have 3 kids means 2 into like 6 years you would get, 2 years only you will get, irrespective of how many kids she is having.
Okay.
Okay, so these are
Okay.
nothing but maternity benefit act. Same ways when we talk about the 6 months, it's 6 months for first 2 kids. After that, I think it's 4 months or something like that. It reduces. Okay, so this is nothing but maternity benefit act. So we need to see why this legislation was first of all introduced. It is introduced for benefit of mothers, right, to provide them maternity benefit. So in that line, we need to interpret it. That's nothing but beneficial rule of construction. Okay, so everyday working of the court involves interpretation of statutes because it is duty of the judiciary to act according to the true intention of legislature. Different rules have been developed just in order to see which rule applies properly in a certain given situation. Okay, so we need to understand what is the intention of legislature, why this legislation was passed. First of all, we need to see that in that line we need to try to interpret the provisions. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.